Time of Troubles. The Time of Troubles was one of the weakest points in the history of the Russian state. 15 years of unrest, civil wars, and famine killed about 1/3 of the population and took Russia very close to being occupied by Poland and Sweden. Background: Ivan the Terrible left 2 sons as heirs. The elder son, although mentally disabled, became Tsar Fyodor I. The second son, Dmitry of Uglich, was only 8 when, one day, he was discovered dead with his throat cut. Some blamed Fyodor's brother-in-law, Boris Godunov, for the murder. Time of Troubles. When Fyodor I died childless in 1598, the 700-year-old Rurik dynasty ended, and the Time of Troubles, Smutnoye Vremya, began. At first, Boris Godunov became Tsar and managed to maintain stability relatively well, but during his time, a great famine occurred that killed about 1/3 of the population. In 1605, Boris Godunov suddenly died, and that caused the rivaling boyar families to begin a fierce fight for power. In the meantime, foreign powers also intervened, especially Poland and Sweden, attempting to conquer as much land as possible. 3 imposters. In 1605, a Russian monk from Poland declared that he was the real heir to Dmitry of Uglich, and that he had survived the assassination attempt 14 years earlier. He became known as the first false Dmitry, claiming the throne and ruling for a year. He was removed and murdered, but the following year saw the appearance of false Dmitry II and false Dmitry III, who were both also killed. Fight for independence. Around 1610 to 1612, there was a real possibility that Moscow might fall under the rule of the Polish king Sigismund III. Firstly, Vladislav was designated future Tsar, and later, the king himself tried to become the ruler of Russia. At the same time, a Polish garrison was established in the Kremlin in Moscow. Things were looking really dark until 1612. Then, Russia was finally saved by a reuniting of people, inspired by the church and lower nobility. The peasants' improvised army, led by butcher Kuzma Minin and minor prince Dmitry Pozharsky, recaptured Moscow after 3 years of occupation and finally drove the Poles and Swedes out of Russia.
Hello guys, this is Subgroup 1 and today we are going to tell you few information about the times of troubles in Russia. Guys, myself Rishikesh Moite and my subtopic is Boris Godunov. So guys, Boris Fyodorovich Godunov ruled the Tsardom of Russia de facto regent from 1585 to 1598 and then as the first truly kid Tsar from 1598 to 1605. Boris Godunov was the most noted member of an ancient, now extinct Russian family of Tatar origin, Shet, which name from Horde to Kostroma in the early 14th century. He was descended from the Tatar prime Shet who went from Golden Horde to Russia and founded the Epathium monastery in Kostroma. Boris was the son of Fyodor Ivanovich Godunov and his wife Stepanida Ivanovna. His older brother Vasily died young. Mm. Godunov's career began at the court of Ivan the Terrible. He is mentioned in 1570 for taking part in the Sperkish campaign as an archer of guard. Godunov strengthened his position and court by his marriage to Maria Skuratova-Belskaya, the daughter of Malyata Skuratov-Belsky, head of Oprins. In 1580, the Tsar chose Boris Godunov's sister Irina Godunova to be the wife of his second son and eventually heir the 14-year-old Fyodor Ivanovich. On this occasion, Godunov was promoted to the rank of boyar. The role of entire family Godunov gradually increased, and by the end of 1570s, they obtained a footing at Ivan the Terrible court. Boris Godunov himself was very cautious in his action and preferred to stay in background. Then he ruled Tsardom of Russia as the de facto regent from 1585 to 1590. On 23rd April 1605, Moscow, Boris Godunov died. He died after a lengthy illness and a stroke. He left one son, Fyodor II, who succeeded him and ruled only for few months until he and Boris' widow were murdered by the enemies of the Godunovs in Moscow on 20 June 1605. After the end of his reign, Russia descended into the time of troubles. So thank you guys, and further topic will be continued by my friend Bhavika.
My name is Bhavika Paryani and my topic is Fyodor First, the bell ringer, and I'm from Group 102. So, in 1584, the 27 years old Fyodor was a crown teaser of Russia. He was a son of Tsar Ivan IV, better known as Ivan the Terrible, and his first wife, Anantisya, in Russian documents, Fyodor is sometimes called the Blessed. He was born in Moscow and crowned Tsar and autocrat of all Russia at the Assumption Cathedral in Moscow on 31st May 1584. At that time, Russia had been exhausted by the bloody fanatism of Ivan IV, whose insane temper led him to kill his elder and abler son. Fyodor, his younger brother, extended to his throne only to find his realm torn wide open by factional infighting among the boyars, heated on the one hand by the imperial chancellor Boris Godunov and on the other hand by the Prince Ivan Petrovich Suske. Fyodor was said to have been a very weak leader. He left the governing to his brother-in-law Boris Godunov, who then became the real leader of Russia, extending the throne in 1584. 3 years after Fyodor's father killed his older brother Ivan in a fit of rage, Fyodor Ivanchov was nevertheless too mentally deficient to govern. Gentle and quiet, Fyodor was believed to have been a mentally retarded weakling who lacked his intelligence to rule. Ivan IV perceived that his son was ill equipped to be a Tsar and anticipating his own death. Ivan tried to smooth the path of his humbly gifted son by creating a five-member advisory council to help him rule. According to the last order of Ivan IV, a regency in council include five boyars, the Tsar uncles Nikita Romanche, Zakarian Yurve, Prince Ivan Fyodorich, and the Prince Ivan Fyodorich, and the Bogdan Yakovlevich and Boris Fyodorovich Godunov, the brother-in-law of Trezy, was performed to support the incapable Tsar Fyodor, with two opposing camps verifying for the collusion was inevitable. In 1586, leader of the Shusuke Boyars clan tried to arrange a divorce of Tsar Fyodor under the pretext of the bareness of Tsarina Arena, thus trying to discharge Godunov. For that task, they relied on the Moscow population. Boris managed to suppress the disorders that aroused in the capital in the May 1586. Shortly thereafter, Susuke and his brother was first banished to their ancestral lands and then brought to the Karpogal when they were secretly killed. Thus, the opposition was done by the Boris could now publicly become the regent of the state. He was entitled the governor, servant, and the equerry boyar and the court voivode. The Duma powered him with the control over foreign relationship. The British called him the Lord Protector of Russia. After that, in the 16th century in the 16th century or before, in appearance Fyodor was virtually the opposite of his father, except for the prominent nose. Ivan IV was tall and robust. Fyodor was small and had short arms and practically no neck. His spindle leg was very too weak to properly support his body and made him stoop and shuffle. His eyes and glazed look and his face was permanent glowless smile and that was very religious ecstasy or simple mindedness depending on the observer point of view. Fyodor I was thought to be a feeble-minded, but his subject considered his state an especially inspired childish form of vision. He spent most of his time in monotonous prayers and took special delight in ringing church bells, though the first year of Fyodor region were marked by a power of his struggle between the princely family and the Boris Godunov. But the end of 1587, Boris Godunov was the only remaining member who helped Fyodor to resign. He became a substitute Tsar because Fyodor was not only unfit to rule but also interested in doing so. When Fyodor died peacefully in his bed in 1598, after a brief illness, the long ruling dynasty of Rurik came to the end. Boris, good enough, became the new Tsar. Godunov was killed in 1605 and his death ushered in a time of trouble which lasted until the establishment of Romanov dynasty in 16 and 13. Thank you, and my further topic will be explained by my friend Ellen.
Hi guys, I'm Alan Sebastian and I'm from Medical Faculty 102 and I'll be talking about Stephen Razin. He's also no, he's one of the Cossack leader and he's first let me talk about he was born on like 1630 and died on 1671. Let's start about his like background. Like he was one of the first great rebellion of the Russia and experience between the 16,000 and 18,000. The one who led the Stenka resigned was revoked, the most popular feeling and memories. Uh, and the name of Stephen Razin has come to signify the very essence of Russian folk and spirit. The free land, Don River, was attracted a runway from the southern and the central areas of Russia state. Here they were protected by unwritten law. There is no extradition from the Don. The government needed the Cossack services in the defense of the southern borders and therefore had to put up such a self-government of the land. Then he was originated from Zemtovskia, Stanistia, and was born to an old Cossack family that lived in the Don River. His mother said to be a captive Turkish woman. Razin's family status within the community often put him into situations that taught him to become a shrewd negotiator. He served his people with distinction and won their trust and respect. He was born he was a born leader who understood the mood of the peasant class. His charisma drew people to him and influenced their behavior. Yet who knew him described sudden mood swings, especially when he is drunk and led to violence. The most popular example is his legendary memorized forever and the popular folk song Sacrifices of His Mistress, a Persian princess whom he was thrown into the Volga River for the sake of the Cossack solitary. Then he also rebel. Stefan's life as a rebellion began and abruptly enough at the age of 37 in April 1667, and when his brother was executed by the Russian army for disobeying the order, Stephen came to a conclusion that grievance and injustice of the Cossack and peasantry were enough that they will actively rebel against the regime. Then he also became a pirate. He established a base operation on an island and head to the Terek River, which allowed him to intercept merchant ships beyond the Russian through the Volga, lured the beneficial traffic of Saha, Persia. He decided to attack the coastal river of Persia. The first one was Derbent, a for, uh, prosperous port and a western coast of the Caspian Sea. The Saha of the Persian ordered one of his commanders to pursue and eliminate the Cossack pirates at the Biku Stefan and his men took more than 100 prisoners and 7,000 ships. While they celebrated Persian troops attack, more than 400 Cossacks were slain, but Stephen escaped. After wintering along the southern Caspian shore, the Persian Rasan band assumed a campaign in 1669 along the eastern shore among the settlements of the Turkish population of Central Asia. Then Stephen's last pirate raid took place when he was captured by two Persian merchants' vessels laden with the treasure that included thoroughbred horses, a gift from Zaha of Persia to Caesar Alaski. The Russian Navy pursued the Stephen, but neither they or nor the pirate wished to do battle. Instead, Stephen accepted all the full pardon on condition that he returns to the Don River, surrender his gun and horses, releases the imprisoned Persian, and turn over all the Russian soldiers who had joined the pirates. Then, in March 1670, Ryzen announced that the Cossack Kurg and he intended to return to the Volga, but instead of sailing against the Turks or the Persian to the south, this time he pledged into Rus against the traitorous boyar and advertised of the Tatar. To march the Cossack alone, Volga and the north grew in the Prussian disorder. Cossack remained the military core of the rebellion army. Tales of Stephen exploit were told again and again. He welcomed the homeless and destitute Persian that flocked to his camp as brothers. Thank you all for listening, and next will be continued by my friend Bhakti.
Thank you, Alan. Hello, everyone. My name is Bhakti Kandekar, and my topic is Ivan Susanin. Ivan Susanin was a Russian national hero and martyr of the early 17th times of trouble. According to popular legend, Susanin guided Polish troops seeking to kill Tsar Mikhail on a false path deep into the Russian forest. The village of Domninon was owned by Xenia Shestova, the wife of Fyodor Romanov and the mother of Mikhail Romanov. Upon Mikhail's election to Russian thrones in 1613, the Zemsky Sober sent Prince and several other boyars to inform Mikhail, who lived in Domninon, about his election. Many Polish detachments still roamed Russia. They supported Sigismund, who refused to accept his defeat and still claimed the Russian throne. One of them discovered the news and sent troops to Kostroma to find and to kill the young Tsar. It is said that they were unsure of the road to Domnino, and so they started to ask locals for directions. In woods near the village, they met Ivan Susanin, who promised them to take them via shortcut through a forest, where Mikhail was apparently hiding. Ivan Susanin led them so deep in the bitter cold February night that they were not even heard again. Thank you for listening our topic.